Hey guys, a couple of weeks ago I was sitting here and I was talking about the new Chaos Knight Tyrant which I purchased. I've spent the last few weeks painting it up and I have it here underneath this bag. I couldn't really think of a better way to kind of do a grand reveal. Over the last few weeks I've done what I can to kind of record all of the process that I went through, so I'll put it on screen now and give you kind of like a bit of a time lapse as to what has happened. It's been so much fun painting this, and I think it might be the best model that I've ever painted so far. Okay, so first let me talk about the concept and the theme I was going for with my Knight Tyrant. It took me a little while to kind of think about what to do. I've got a few themes kind of going on with my Death Guard army at the moment, and because the Knight Tyrant is an ally, I didn't mind kind of stepping away from those themes a little bit and experimenting with some other color schemes. Now, one color scheme that I have seen a bit online is, I believe it's called the Pallid Hands, and I think that is what the Death Guard used to look like during and before like the Horus Heresy. So it's like off-whites, like a creamy like beige kind of color with like green trim. And I thought that would be kind of like a cool look, because this is like the biggest robot that I have in my list now as well, in my army. I wanted to give a bit of a shout out to, oh hello Lola. Sorry, I just had Lola come over, she wanted to say hi. I thought it would be cool to kind of give like a bit of a shout out to like one of my favorite robots, which is White Glint from Armored Core 4. I've never actually played that game before, but I absolutely love the trailer for it. I think it's probably one of the coolest like game trailers ever. I'll put a little clip up. And basically White Glint is like, at the end of the trailer, he's all like shot up and he's got all these bullet holes and damage, like wear and tear. And so I wanted to try and combine like those two themes together. And if you saw my last video, you would have seen that I used like a power drill and stuff to add a bit of battle damage to the Tyrant. Now for the base, I wanted to do something really special because this is one of the biggest bases I will probably ever have. And another common theme that I've seen throughout the Death Guard community is swamp-based themes. So I thought it'd be really cool to give that a try and see what I could do in that space. And to create a swamp theme, I thought I would also try out resin, because I've used a little bit of like UV resin in the past with my snow ice theme Death Guard. And I've seen a lot of videos online about, you know, people doing like resin pours and making these really awesome bases. So that was kind of the idea behind the base. So that's like the general theme of what I was going for my Tyrant, like a battle-worn robot in the swamp. So a Tyrant in the swamp. I hope you enjoy. Now, another thing I want to say while this is kind of playing in the background, I had my first super thanks the other day from We Guess, I think that's how you say it. And he says, I love your channel as a new player. I too am a Death Guard loyalist here in San Antonio, Texas. Your channel is exactly what a new player can relate to. In the same age group as well, and started 1 month ago assembling the army and researching. Your vids inspired me to really enjoy my new hobby. Thank you so much. It goes both ways, you know, like I find these kind of messages really inspiring and they really help me, you know, or motivate me to create more content and try out new things and also like post more. I really appreciate it a lot. I'll make this like a thing moving forward as well. So to anyone else who likes super thanks, I'll make sure to read your comments on videos as long as they're not inappropriate. Okay, so now that the model's starting to come along a little bit, I've started thinking about how I'm going to tackle this swamp base. And I've been to the hobby store and picked up a few little bits and pieces. So let me just show you quickly what I've got. I picked up some cork, which I'm gonna use to slightly elevate the Knight Tyrant. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out a few bits of that and make a couple of like little places. I'll layer it up so it's maybe like 2 or 3 layers high, just to have, just so the Knight's got something to stand on. I think that'll look cool. And then once I've done that, I bought this stuff called Create and Shape. It's by Deluxe Materials, and I think it's kind of like a putty that you can put over things. So like I put it over the cork and kind of like texture it to make it look like a rock or dirt or something like that. After I've done that, I've got a few texture paints, so I'll probably need to like paint the whole thing over as well, just to give this a bit of texture. And basically the idea is once I've done that, I will glue the legs on here, and then I'm going to use some resin, which I recently bought, to kind of fill this up and make it look like a swamp. Now, I've never used this kind of resin before. I've only ever used UV resin, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. This little set comes with about 500 mils in total, and I think it's like a 1-to-1 mix, so I should have more than enough in here to create the base. What's quite cool is with this little box that I've got, it also came with this this set of like dyes that you can use to color the resin. So I'll have a play around with this. There's a few like blues and greens which I think could work quite well with it. I've also got like oranges and yellows. There's all kinds of colors in here, so I'll definitely be able to make use of this in the future as well. I was watching a few tutorials on like how to actually do resin pours and things, and what a lot of people suggested was getting this like polystyrene sheet, and so I'll cut a bit off this and like put it all around the base, just make sure it's like as tight as it can be so no resin will fall out, and I'm hoping that will look okay. The only other thing I got was some flock, and I'm thinking of using this to kind of make like moss, so I'll mix it up with some PVA and glue it over like the rocks and the dirt and stuff. Once I've made that, might even put a little bit going up the Knight Tyrant's legs and things. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on at the moment. I think I've been making pretty good progress, and yeah, I should be able to finish this off in a couple of weeks, I reckon. Alright, so we are now at the stage where I think I'm ready to try a resin pour for the first time. I'm a little bit nervous because I have never done this before, and this is probably the best base that I have ever made, ever. So it's a little bit sad that if this all goes wrong, I could completely mess this up forever. But that's all right. I've done what I can to secure the... Sorry, let me take that back a step. I got like this plastic kind of sheet stuff and have taped it around the base. I've used blue tack to kind of like hold it in place as well, just to try and do what I can to make sure that there's no leakage anywhere. I've watched as many tutorials as I can find on YouTube to try to see how to best do this, and I think this way should be okay. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is like the GW bases, they're kind of on an angle like this, whereas the plastic sheet that I've got is like a straight line. So I'm not quite sure how it's gonna look once this is all done. But yeah, I've got my resin kit here. I've got my pigments here. I've pulled out all the green colors. I'm not too sure what these are gonna look like. So I might just do a little bit of testing first, just to try and get the color right, because I want it to look like a swampy kind of green. I can see that these actually come with little measuring cups on top of them, which is nice. In terms of other prep that I've done, I've got a heat gun here, which I will use to get rid of any bubbles. I've got a mask as well. Apparently this stuff is quite nasty, so I've opened like all the doors and windows and stuff around me too. Let's jump into it. I need to take these glasses off first. How does this work? Okay, mask is on. I have no idea how toxic this stuff is. It's going to be a bit awkward with the glasses on. So the first thing I want to do is get the color right. And I think I've got enough resin here to make a few mistakes before I need to get things right. I've also got these little tubes, so I might use these first to like just pull out a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. When I've seen other people do this online, they use like dyes, I think. So I'm not sure how these are, this little set of, I'll show you the box real quick. Yeah, it's like a little arts and crafty kind of set. I don't know if there's much difference between like different qualities of resin. These are starting to fog up actually. Okay. So I've got the hardener here and I've got the resin epoxy on this side. I'm just gonna pour it. Just go like, so this is the resin part. I'm just gonna do a little bit like that. I should probably get something to put underneath. It's here, and then this is the hardener. So I'll put a little bit of this in here, about the same amount. Now, in terms of my greens, I really do not know what to go for. I want it to go for like a dark kind of swampy look, but let's try for the grass green first. And I don't know how much to put in here. I tried mixing some of this with water a little while just before this, but it didn't work out so well. I can see this is reacting a lot different to how it was. Oh wow, this is actually quite thick. Okay, wow, this is it's like a slime green. I don't think this is the green I want.
That was this one. I guess I'll just add a little bit of these ones to here to see what that does. I mean, if I'm going for like a toxic kind of like swamp, it could work. See what this color does to it. Okay, I think I only need to put one drop of this stuff in. Turn to like, this isn't the green I'm trying to get. Okay, this is going to be very hard. I'm going to mix some other colors in here just to see. I wish I was better at like color stuff. We got yellows. What else have we got in here? We got browns. We got blues. I mean, do I go for blues instead? Although I've put quite a lot of green in the swamp. Okay, I think I definitely need to go for a lighter color. I'm just going to add to this just to see what it looks like. This one's more of like a turquoisey kind of green. Okay, now I'm just mixing it so it doesn't, you can't even tell what it looks like. All right, I'm gonna have to throw this one away. That's all right. This is why we have backup ones. Let's put this over here as well. That was a fail. Oh look, there's a resin in here. I don't know which one it is though. Let's put you over there. Okay, so I'm gonna try again. Let's put some of the stuff in here again. I wonder if I'm just better off going for like a clear resin. Because I've got a bit of detail on the actual base. But it would be nice to have like a bit of a tint to it. Okay, so this time I'm going to try the silver green, which is like a bright green. Let's put a couple of drops of that. Now, if I can't get the green that I want, maybe I will have to go for like a mix like a blue and a yellow together, potentially. Okay, this has created like a very light, very, very light green. Let's put another drop of this in here. Oops, I accidentally dropped. Put two in there, that's fine. Yeah, this is more like a Tesseract glow kind of green, like it's very bright, kind of like highlighty. I don't think it's quite the look that I'm going for as well. So I might have to... I don't think these greens are any good. That's unfortunate. All right, in terms of my blues, so let's put these over here. Blues and yellows. I'm gonna try this blue with a yellow. Okay, this is actually making quite a nice green. This is more what I was envisioning. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a bit darker, but it's still quite clear. Because I want it to be like a dirty kind of swamp. Actually, I wonder if there's any browns in here. I've got a black. There's a yellow brown. And there's a turmeric. Let's go for the yellow brown. I'm gonna put a drop of this in here. Okay, I think this is getting closer to what I want. Maybe that's a little bit too brown. It's really hard to tell like what's gonna work well. I'm gonna put a tiny drop of black in here. Let's see what this does. Yeah, black makes it very, very dark. Now we're kind of, oh, actually it's not that bad. Okay, I think the way we are going to have to go about this is by mixing and matching colors. I'm kind of, this is kind of like a shade color that I was looking for. So I think I'm going to mix these four and just try get this. Sorry, I realize it's not a see-through cup. I think this is going to be okay. It should give me that murky, dark murky kind of green. Okay, moment of truth. Let me just grab another cup. So this is what it's looking like at the moment. Is it meant to have this many bubbles in it? Not sure. I don't know if I have enough in here. Is this the green I want? It's still quite light. Can I put all of this in here? I'm spilling a little bit of resin on my cutting mat as well, so I'm probably going to get a new one of these one day. Okay. Okay, it looks so much different in a clear cup. I definitely want to use this. Put this over here. Okay, what do I want to do with this? I think I want to try and make it a bit more vibrant. Put a tiny bit of this like bright green in here. Oh, it's going to be so sad if I make all of this and it's not enough to fill it, because I cannot remember what I've been doing to get this color. It's getting closer to the green that I want it to be, for sure. Do I want it to be a little bit darker maybe? It's so hard to tell. My base is quite dark, so it's like maybe I don't need it to be very green. Maybe put a tiny bit more black in here. Okay, I think actually yes, it's starting to kind of get where I was like envisioning it. All right, I like this color. Oh my god, yes. Okay, let's just make sure we're mixing all that in properly. This is probably like one of the worst. It's not even a tutorial, but geez. It's, yeah, I guess I'm the type of person that learns from experience. So unfortunately, this is like the only way that I'm going to be able to get through this, is by just trying it out, seeing what happens, and hoping that it all goes well. If it doesn't, I'll learn from this. That's much better green. I almost want to put a little bit more black in there just to make it slightly more darker. Oops, oh no, it's dropping. Okay, I definitely need bigger cups. I kind of want to put a tiny bit more, just a touch. It's almost there, we're getting there. Okay, I think this will be the last bit. Now I have no idea what the recipe is to get this, so let's pray that this is enough. If it isn't, I might just put some like clear resin on top of it, just so I'm not having to like try and match the color again. Okay, cool. Now I have done what I can to try and level this, just to make sure that it sets flat. Let's do this, guys. It's a bit stressful, but I just hope I've done enough. Oops. Oh no, I got some on his leg. Well, I have to rub that off. Okay, let's put this over here. Kind of regretting like gluing his legs on. Put some on this side. And once I've put this all in, I'll bring the camera over so you guys can see what's going on. Need to get some in the middle there as well. I'm not quite sure how high I want to go. Oops. Oh, I'm making such a mess. Glad I didn't do this upstairs like in the office. Oh, it's actually really high as well. I can't put any more in here. Okay, I think that is all I can do. Now there are so many bubbles in here, so let's use the heat gun. I've never used one of these before either. Actually, before we do that, let's put the lids on these. Hey guys, I just realized that my camera cut out while I was recording that piece, so I'm not sure how much you've seen yet or what you haven't seen, but basically I used the heat gun on it a bunch to get rid of all the bubbles on here, and you can see it's actually looking pretty cool. It's kind of got that swampy, murky look I was hoping to achieve, so it's a little bit out of focus. And yeah, now I guess I will just have to let it sit here for a day and a bit. I've got work tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow night to peel this off and see what it looks like. Doesn't look like it is leaking at this stage, which is great, and I've done what I can to make sure it's as level as it can be. I'm a little bit concerned that there doesn't seem to be as much resin in here as there was when I poured it, so I don't know where it's all gone, but I guess we will find out tomorrow. Okay, I have just got home. It is about 30 hours, I think. No, it's probably like 26 hours since I poured this, so I think it should be set now. I do have a knife here. Oh, do I want to bang it with this? Wait, let's try this. It sounds pretty solid. From a glance, it doesn't look like there has been any leakage from what I can tell, so let me all of these little droplets that I dropped as well. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm definitely going to need a new mat. Let's start to unravel this. Get out of here. All right, I think it has turned out pretty good. Hopefully this is in focus for you guys. Now you can see it is quite hazy around here, and you can actually see quite clearly where the things were in the plastic. So I'm not sure. I don't think you can use sanding paper. I did bring a knife down. I'm not sure how I'm going to get rid of those lines, but I believe I can just cut this excess off. Oh yeah, that comes off really easy. Just be careful not to cut myself.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. And it's so clear. I'll take some photos just so you guys can see. Oh, this is like sticking to me now. The other thing is, I believe I can just get some more resin and kind of just like go around the edges, and that will make it a lot clearer, just so it's not all like, I don't know what the word is, maybe like hazy. It might be a good way to describe it. Cool. All right, I'm going to spend some time cutting this up, and then once it's all come off, I guess I'll have a think about what I'm going to do with these little edges. I might be able to get away with just brushing some resin over it and smoothing it out that way. That might be the way to do it, actually. Maybe I use some UV resin. I'll have a think about it. But yes, very, very happy with how this has turned out. I'll see you guys soon. All right, hopefully you guys can see me. All right, I've just spent the last 10 minutes cutting off all of the lip. There was so much on there. And now it's at the stage where it's kind of like rounded around the whole thing. And what I'm going to do is make a little bit more resin. I've got an old brush here, and I'm just going to like paint over all of it, and hopefully it smooths it out. I'm going to bring this in a bit closer so you can see how like murky all of this is. Once I put it on here, apparently it's going to make it really clear, like how it is on top here. Let's see if this works. So that was pretty much everything that I have done to put the Tyrant together. There was a little bit of like detailing and things I did off camera, and that's just because I find it really hard to, like usually when I'm painting like the small details, I'm like quite bent over and going over it. So like when I set up the camera, you'd just be like looking at the back of my head or something. But that's enough. Here we go. This is what he looks like. The Tyrant and the Swamp. I'll put some close-ups of this while this is playing, but oh my God, I am so happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really cool. It is definitely the best one, the best mini. It's not really a mini, is it? That I've painted to date. And I just love how it's turned out. A couple of things that I really like about this is obviously the base. I think the Resin Pour turned out really well. It is a bit jagged around the edges, and that's because after the first pour, it had like a bit of a lip, and I went around with a knife. And then after that, I used a brush to kind of like go over it to try and smooth it out, and that did work. So I could potentially go over a couple more times if I really wanted to get like a really nice smooth edge to the base here, but you can't really tell, especially when it's on the table and you're playing with it. I have used it a couple of times now. I think I got quite lucky with the color of the resin as well. I was really surprised when I was looking back at the footage at how well I was able to kind of turn a bad situation into a good one by, you know, the green colors that came with that resin kit weren't very good, and they weren't the colors that I was like looking for this swamp. Thinking on my feet, mixing the blues, the yellows, darker colors to get this like darker green. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it's funny because it wasn't really something that I was considering when I turned on the camera and started recording it. It was just like in the moment I was like, okay, this is the outcome which I'm trying to get to, and I somehow figured out how to get there. Using flock and PVA glue to kind of make this moss, and I've got it going up the legs a bit. I haven't put any on the like upper part of the miniature because I mean, these things are meant to be absolutely massive. So the idea behind it is, you know, he's been walking through the swamp and it's kind of been like flicking up his legs a bit. It kind of goes up to about his waist, and that's it. I'm really happy with how like the battle damage came out, and I might go around and maybe darken it up a bit, but when you're looking at it from afar, it looks really cool. So I'm kind of happy to just leave it as it is. Another detail that I really love is the kind of like burnt edge of the, I think it's the Dark Flame cannon. I've been trying to do the burnt look on flamers for a while now, and I feel like this is the first time where I've actually been able to nail it. So very happy with how that turned out. I'm glad I've magnetized this as well. Like, I've obviously painted the harpoon and the flamer, but I haven't actually put together the other two weapons yet. The missiles up here are all magnetized as well, and this little cannon here. The top of this as well, because when I'm transporting it, I usually have it in two pieces. In the future, I do want to try and do more like resin pours. I think it's something that if I practice a bit more, I'll probably be able to get even better at it, which would be cool. I did go through all of my current boxes that I had to see if there were any like chaosy bits that I wanted to add to this. And I played around with a few things, but I actually quite like how it's like simple and not too like over the top chaos. And that's kind of goes back in line with like White Glint, which I was talking about. It's just very cool, simple, and if it didn't have a colorful base, I don't think it would have worked as well. But because I've got so much color and it's quite a vibrant color going on on the base, I think I can get away with having quite a bland, I call it bland, paint job over top. But yeah, I think he looks great. I have tried using him a couple of times, and I'm still getting the hang of using the Knight Tyrant on tabletop. He's a very expensive model. He's 510 points, which is crazy. And I am starting to get a little bit better of just understanding how to get the most out of him. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I feel like every game I'm getting a little bit closer. So yeah, this is my Tyrant in the Swamp. I hope you guys like him. I've had so much fun painting him over the last 3 weeks, especially the base. I think this is the best base I've ever done. And actually that's something I didn't really talk about as well, is using like all the different materials to put the base together. I had that cork, which I used to elevate the model a bit. And then I had that putty that I bought from the hobby store, which was all dried out, so I couldn't even use it. I ended up getting a bag of sculptor mold, which I've seen some hobbyists use. That worked out really well. I put it over the whole thing. And then I used the texture paint. I can't remember what texture paint it was, but it was one of the GW ones. I've actually just recently bought some like sand. So next time I do something like this, I'll just put the sculptor mold over it. I'll just PVA glue everything and then just drop some sand over it. I think that'll be much more effective. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably a bit longer than most of my usual ones. And let me know if you enjoy this like style of like seeing like my progress around how I made these. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys around next time. See ya.